Well, welcome back to another episode of the Wild Faith Podcast. I'm joined by my co-host today, Evan Bungham, and we also have a special guest in the house. We have Joey Vassallo from Midwest Flyways. How we doing, man?
I'm doing phenomenal. It's Friday night, so I'm pumped.
Let's go. Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, excited to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Gotta love that extra day in the weekend, right?
Yeah, it's just like another day of work around the house, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we have my youngest birthday party tomorrow, so it'll be a full morning of blowing up balloons, dad stuff.
What did John want for his birthday?
So our kids are hilarious. Like, they don't watch like normal kids shows, which sounds kind of weird, but it's either animals or like literal just farming videos and rodeo. That's it.
Hilarious.
Like, there's a shout out to Sunny Farms from South Dakota, runs this channel, and literally my kids will just sit there and watch. They're just beef cattle farmers.
What?
They just GoPro their day, and that they just watch them farm.
Unreal. And it's uncensored or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's just they're doing they're doing their farm stuff. It's just that's what they like watching. Then our youngest John, he is like obsessed with rodeo. So we're doing a rodeo birthday. He's just anything and everything rodeo. He loves like that Dale Brisby guy.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sure that channel's totally made for 3-year-olds, but my kids love it. So
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
But
I was thinking like uncensored because if you've ever been around a farmer for longer than an hour,
there's
helping them on the farm, you definitely hear some nice language.
Yeah, no, they keep her PG on that one. But I completely get where you're coming from on that. Yeah, man.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy because after this weekend, it is full tilt. And I mean, early teal opens up here in Wisconsin. Is it the first as well for Minnesota, right?
No, we open on the 6th.
Oh, okay.
So early goose and teal open on the 6th.
Gotcha.
This year.
Yeah.
But I am going out to Wisconsin on Monday to shoot geese.
Oh, nice. I'm going Friday. So should be
next Friday.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Try and get a early smackdown of some honkers, right?
We love it.
Yeah, exactly. What else, man? I mean, you got probably a crazy fall cooked up and ready. I mean, is it pretty much after next week? It's just full send the whole fall.
Yes and no. I was just talking to Cal about it today. He's the other owner of Midwest Flyways that you guys have already had on, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And we just got a new trailer last year, and we were so out of sorts when we bought it that we had no time to build it out. And we just got a bunch of new decoys this year. And so we're trying to build out the trailer to like hold it and keep them nice, unlike anything else I own. Everything else I own gets trashed immediately.
Yep.
And so we're about to Raptor liner the trailer, and I still have to brush a pontoon. Like the next 2 weeks are just terrible for me. And of course, construction is slow all year. It's super slow. I am clawing for work. Then at the very end of July, we get hit with 2 tailstorms, and I'm like, you're joking me. Which, good and bad.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Yep.
But now I'm like, I don't know if I can even hunt, but what will happen is I will hunt, and I shouldn't hunt.
Yeah, it's a fine line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to not get fired from my job.
Yeah,
and then still try to kill birds at the same time.
So what's that feeling like the first time you get out and you're actually hunting? That first hunt of the year. Does like that stress finally like just go away, or is it still there?
For work?
Yeah, just life. I feel like the first time, like I'm so giddy to get out in the deer woods. Like that first time I get to sit in the stand, it is like the stuff that's been eking at me all summer is like gonna slowly start to drift away. Where it's like, okay, I've got this for the next 4 months.
Yeah, no, it feels incredible. In short. But I also feel really guilty like the first month and a half of season. Because what I was just talking about, it's like, it's still nice out. I really shouldn't be scouting this much, and I really shouldn't be hunting this much. I could still make money for the company that I work for and then make more money myself because I'm part commission as well.
Yeah.
And so now that I've got 2 kids, I'm like, oh, I,
Yeah.
you know, my baby needs some new shoes, like,
Dad's
she'll
gotta go
be
to work.
fine. No,
Yeah.
she'll be fine. Daddy's got to shoot some geese.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. What is there a tradition you guys kind of keep each year to kick the season off?
No, not at all. Not at all. I love doing new stuff.
Yeah.
I love doing new stuff. So like this year, I'm going out to Wisconsin for their opener.
Mhm.
I hunt with my buddy Jared Gray, and I've hunted with him before, but he's just over the border into Wisconsin. But he just bought his grandparents' farm, so I think it makes him either third generation or fourth generation of that farm.
Dang.
And so now he finally bought it from his family. So he's done all this work all year to make it the ultimate goose killing property.
Love that.
So him and like 9 other dudes have just been grinding all year. And he's like, "Are you going to come hunt the farm?" I was like, "You can't stop me from hunting the farm. I'm going to hunt the farm without you." So I'm excited to do that. But hopefully this year is the start of a new tradition. I'm bringing my wife and my 3-year-old daughter out on our goose opener.
Nice.
Fun.
So that'll be her like first true hunt that she can fully understand. She's not a puddle of skin anymore, and she can like ask questions, and she's potty trained now.
Even better.
So it's like, okay, you're gonna come out with me a lot more this year.
Heck yeah.
Pretty stoked for that.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. I've been itching it the same way of with our oldest Liam to get, just get on the boat this summer fishing and stuff. But like, once I get the boat all rigged up here and duck season hits, get him out a little bit before it gets too nasty out,
Yeah, I feel like getting the kids out for like waterfowl hunting is a little bit different than like deer hunting, just in terms of like you're shooting guns, having a good time. Like it's like I know Nora would fit right into that crowd and have fun, but yeah, she's chomping at the bit to get in the deer stand here in 2 weeks. So,
well, and how old are your guys' kids again?
5 and 3.
4 and 3 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So you guys are both in the thick of it as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Right in the middle of it.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't before we hopped on. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be 5 minutes late. Normally we're kind of always pinching it at just trying to get the kids down and stuff. And it's like I'm gonna be 5 minutes late. Then it's like we're all in the same boat, so it's all good. We're all just trying to get the kids down and
restore
make
peace
it happen
in the universe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I texted him at 8:20. I was like, "Dude, I'm just getting my kids to bed. Like, I need a second. Scratch my back, scratch my head.
Yeah.
No, Daddy, can you pray longer?"
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Can I have 3 more books?
No. Oh, don't even get me started on the books.
Oh yeah, right.
She's been taking all of her books to bed with her, and then wonders why the next day they're just ripped to shreds. It's like because you're laying on them all night,
Yep.
That's hilarious.
But anyway.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Do you have any traditions for the beginning of the year?
For bow opener, we usually do like a doe fest.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever missed a doe or not doe, just a deer opener at my farm. I don't think.
Mm.
So that's where, I mean, we had some other plans that kind of came up this year and it was like, do I want to go and do that? No, I know I potentially could have went out and done a hunt with you, Luke, but it's just like, I've never missed one. It's always been there, and I hope to keep that alive. But at the same point in time, kind of like you, Joey, where it's like I'm always up for new things too. Where it's like,
yeah,
try something different. You never know, but it's always creeping there. This is the only thing that gets me excited that it's the 13th this year, so there is a chance that you might be able to kill a velvet buck, but the odds that happening are very slim.
Yeah,
very slim.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would be sweet.
That'd be cool.
Be sweet.
What?
I know nothing about deer hunting, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to grill you tonight is all deer hunting questions.
That's it.
Sorry, this is going to be the shittiest podcast of all time.
Oh, that's good. All right, so before we get into it real thick here, what would Joey's early season, like just waterfowl report be for, we're here in the Mississippi Flyway. I almost said Midwest Flyway, but basically the same thing, right? What would just kind of be your early, conditions, outlook, that kind of thing?
Like, how is this year going to go?
Yeah, like just what you're seeing, how's habitat looking, good rain?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really excited about the weather right now. The this whole last week in Minnesota has been so cold.
Mm-hmm.
You're waking up at like low 50s, high 40s, and I just woke up at 6:30 the other morning. I was stepping outside at 6:30 and I was just like, "Oh
Ooh,
my god, I need a sweatshirt."
yeah.
I am so excited. Holy crap. And I keep getting texts from my buddies saying like next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, they're like, get out of work.
Yeah.
We should have a good push of molt migrators. It's going to be 48 degrees in the morning and a 15-mile-an-hour northwest wind. And I'm like, oh my God,
Mhm.
yes. But as far as I understand it, we had a really good hatch,
Mm-hmm.
for ducks and geese between North Dakota, Minnesota, and parts of Canada. And South Dakota, North Dakota has a bunch of geese. And then all of August, we had an unusual amount of ducks and geese in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Like unusual, where I'm seeing feeds of 200 plus ducks, feeds of 150 plus geese. And I'm like, there should not be this many birds here.
Mm.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I was hearing something that I saw on Facebook of some guys talking about Minnesota teal numbers that they were down. Is that true?
I did see that. They were down 40% when they did the survey in May.
Yeah. Crazy.
No, 60%, right?
I think
Yeah,
it's
I think
40
it-
or
I think-
60. Yeah.
I think it was 60.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But I mean, our teal hatches the last 10 years have been like off the charts,
Mm.
But it looks like every other duck is up from
Okay.
like year to year, but we're always down 20% over the 20-year average or 30-year average, whatever it is,
I mean, the nice
I-
one nice thing, right, is that we can actually hunt ducks in Minnesota past Thanksgiving this year.
Dude, so stoked. We've been talking about that so much on our podcast and oh man, it just wrecks me every year when it's Thanksgiving or just after Thanksgiving and then the ducks get there. It's like, come on, guys. And watch, this is the first year that we can hunt into December and it locks up November 12th.
Yep.
Almost guarantee
Yeah,
it.
that's how it's
Almost
gonna go.
guarantee it.
Gonna have a hell of a winter.
Well, it's always been
That
the
would be
funny,
so sick.
funny thing when we've talked to guys that have been out of state and they're like, what do you mean? You guys can't hunt past like October? It's like, no, can't. I mean, I'm not the big waterfowl guy, but it's like unfortunate where you have this whole entire season that's you're pigeonholed to like 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. I wish we were a lot more fluid with our dates or they sold two different types of licenses.
Sure.
That's the one that has made the most sense to me where they say the reason why they don't want to push up our season dates or, push them back is because most people that buy their duck licenses in Minnesota hunt really hard the first couple of weeks and then they put it down.
Yeah.
And so if they did it where it was a normal license for, the 90 percenters, but then the people that wanted to hunt till the middle of December, they wouldn't start until middle of October.
Mm.
And then you just have it on your license,
Yep.
second season or
Mhm.
whatever, or river season, whatever you want to call it. And then that would do a lot for the people down south because it would push the pressured birds out of Minnesota where they're normally sitting here
Mhm.
all winter getting fat.
Fat and plump. Huh.
And then they could
that makes
just
sense.
charge more money for that second season license if they wanted to,
Sure. Sure.
I would think the state would make more money doing that.
You would think so.
Yeah, you gotta love that, right? When if it just makes too much sense and they just like, I don't
No,
know.
we're not doing it.
Let the precinct burn down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, that's why I feel like with CWD has been like the last 7 years now, where it's just like they've just done the most off the wall things that don't make sense. And it's like, well, if we just did this, this would make sense. Everybody would be happy if we just did this. But it's like, nope, we're gonna do the complete opposite of whatever you guys want.
Yeah. It's just our money going towards something that we don't care about,
Yep.
It's cool.
Yep.
Cool. I'm for it.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Is because this is the first year North Dakota kind of switched up their regs a little bit too, right? What's your take on that?
I think it's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it. I heard Ben Bredigan talking about it on a clip,
Mm-hmm.
which is just perfectly how I feel. As a hunter, it sucks.
Yep.
Because I have my traditional spots that I like to go to, and Sometimes it's pressure, but like say I go to the spot, like let's say I go to Devil's Lake, right?
Sure.
A lot of people go to Devil's Lake and there's too much pressure, there's not enough birds. I can then move to a different part of the state for the rest of my licensure and kill birds there, you know? But now I'm going to be stuck to a zone, or if I do go back 2 times, you know, the 7 days, I have to go to a different zone. And let's say now birds are back in that area,
Great.
you know, but if there's actual science to back it, you know, saying this is better for the birds, this is better for the research or the resource, then by all means, but I don't know where they're getting that data from.
Yeah.
I think they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Sure. Did they and so I'm newbie for hunting North Dakota, but did they switch up to where the like the waterfowl license was cheaper? Is it more now? Because you know we're looking at going out there this fall, a group of guys, and I think the old way was it was a lot cheaper. Because now if you wanted to do like a combo pheasant duck hunt, it'd be like $400.
No.
Yeah.
Not as far as I know.
Well,
my gosh.
Because I think
are you going with a guide?
No, because I think the waterfowl license is like $153, and then the upland small game upland is $150 as well.
Wow.
So I think that's got to be new where they split them.
Yeah, I've never. Well, that's not true. I bought my upland tag one time in North Dakota because there's a bunch of Sharpies.
Nice.
But other than that, I've never really targeted upland in North Dakota. Yeah. But I don't remember it being that much.
Yeah,
for sure for upland.
And I mean, we say it on here all the time. Just don't listen to us. Go look at the regs themselves. But I was playing with it the other day when we had a couple guys over playing in the spots and stuff, and we were all like, "Holy shit! I can't believe it's over $300 just to get a."
Yeah, it's 130 for pheasant and 130 for waterfowl.
There you go.
Yep.
Yikes! Yeah, I always buy the 2 7 days.
Yep.
For waterfowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then is that fan too loud?
No.
Okay, perfect. Because I am boiling up here. No, I always bought the 14-day license, and then you have to split it up into 7-day intervals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about 150 to 170 ever since they made you purchase a habitat stamp now for $25.
Yep.
But no, that's a lot.
Yeah. Speaking of,
but I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of license, I found something out today, or not today, the other day that I never knew, that you can buy your federal duck stamp at the post office.
Oh,
really?
Did you know that? Maybe that's
did not know that.
And I hope that the guys I was talking with weren't pulling my leg, but yeah, apparently here, at least for sure in Wisconsin, that you can go into the post office and they have them there, but they could sell out at some point. They said like,
will we get them before the end of 2025 though?
Yeah, they have them just give them to you there.
You can just pick them. You can just get them over the counter.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep. So you wouldn't have to sit and wait for it to come in the mail.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I've always done, because I'm a huge procrastinator, is I buy all my licenses, like either the night before.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Now that you can buy them all online, which is incredible, but the amount of times that I've been hunting with people, I'm like, do you have all the licenses? And they're like, I couldn't figure out how to buy my federal duck license. So then you go online, you try to buy it. And then there's this weird website that you can buy it from that seems sketchy as all get out. It's like, I don't want to give that website my card info.
Yeah.
And so I've always bought it from the North Dakota DNR site.
Okay.
Huh.
Always, because it's just super easy to plug and play, and it's a government website, so it's legit.
Yep.
And then it always gets sent to me within 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
From the North Dakota DNR.
Interesting.
They're on it.
Yeah, they are. They're the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say though, I feel like North Dakota's website could use a facelift. I've been so tempted where I'm like, hey, I build websites. Like, I give me a lifetime mule deer license, and maybe I'll build you a website.
Oh, for sure. You know whose website does need a revamping bad? South Dakota.
You think so?
You don't like the new online one?
Well, let me tell you. Actually, yeah, it is new. It is new. So before this last year, it was impossible to navigate. Impossible.
Yep.
Every time I tried to put in for the lottery for waterfowl, I had to call someone and make sure that like I put it in correctly because it just gave me no prompts.
Were they nice to you on the phone?
Oh, amazing.
I think it's so interesting to where Minnesota, it's been a mixed bag, but every time that I've ever called the South Dakota DNR, even the game wardens, super nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, what do you want? What do you need? It's like, God, you guys are pretty nice. I call Minnesota. It's like, what do you want?
Why are you calling me?
Like,
oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No, every time, you know, and I've been stopped hunting a lot by wardens and COs and all that. And every time I'm out of state, the nicest people, doesn't matter what part of the country I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
When I get stopped in Minnesota, there is always a little bit of tension.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. And I'm not even doing anything wrong.
Right.
You know, but I always get a little bit more attitude.
Huh.
And I'm just like, why? Why, dude?
You remember the guy that stopped us on Mille Lacs, Luke?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Ice fishing.
Yeah. It's just like, seriously, I don't know what it is about Minnesota, but yeah, like to the same point where it's just like, all right, where there's no dicking around. It's just, you just show us your license. We're going to measure your fish and they better be under the limit. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for trying to be nice.
Yeah. So much for that Minnesota nice, right?
Yeah. Well, lately, the last like 5 times I've gotten stopped in Minnesota, they've been nicer than usual, which is pretty cool. And I think a lot of it has to do with like how you talk to them and how quickly you respond to them. Because how many times have you guys been hunting with a group and you get stopped and nobody talked?
Mm-hmm.
And
Dead
so then
silent.
you're like,
Everyone's
do I have to say something here?
Mm-hmm.
But that 35 seconds of silence, they're like, something's wrong.
up here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are they hiding?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It's like when
All
my
right, let me see your licenses, your guns. You guys have any lead?
yeah.
You got your plugs in.
Get it all out.
Shit.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like in waterfowl though, I feel like you guys get stopped substantially more than other sports.
Oh yeah, for sure more than deer hunting.
Yeah.
You know. But I don't know. Sure. You know, I feel like I've gotten pretty lucky with how little I've been stopped, but I think I just hunt more than most people, and so I'm apt to get stopped more than most people. And I do a lot of public hunting too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, most times that I get stopped, I'm only hunting with like myself and maybe one other person. And so it's so quick and easy, and you just tell them your life story.
Yep.
You're like, oh, how'd you do this morning? Oh, you know, birds aren't really flying. Okay, you got your plugs in? Yep. No lead. Yep. Sounds good. Do you have life jackets? I think so. And then you go looking through the
quick
start
digging.
looking through the boat. Yep. And then you find them, you know, and then they're like, okay, be safe. Sounds good.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I don't like getting stopped, and I try to do, and I don't say I try. I really focus on doing everything by the book.
Yeah.
Especially these days with having like the company and everything. Like if I get in trouble doing something, they're going to throw the book at me.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yep. Under the microscope.
And so, I try so hard, even with everybody else, I make sure that they have their licenses. I check their plugs. I check their shells, everything, just because I don't want anyone to get a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And still, you just get that pit in your stomach when you get stopped. And I hate it.
Yeah. It's like, I know I'm doing everything right, but it's still, you know, that little 3 seconds of fear comes into play.
Right.
I think it's always funny watching those like game warden shows though, where it's like how much of it is real, because it's like, but some of it is like, I think especially like when we've been out in South Dakota, it's like by the time that game warden gets to you, he's probably watched you for a solid 45 minutes, a quarter mile, half a mile away. He's like, oh yeah, I mean, I watched you do what you did. You can't deny it. But some of these jokers that they have on the shows, it's just like, come on. Like, but there's people that are out there like that. So I mean, like, yeah, that good for you. Because like that is, I think, a due justice part for all of us is like, be on top of your stuff. Like just do it by the books.
Right. Well, and I can't remember how long ago it was now, but I went bow fishing with some friends, and it was my boat, my bows, and two people two people got there like at the last second that I didn't think were coming. And I just asked everybody, I was like, "Do you have your fishing license?" And they're like, "Yep, yep, sounds good." And we get stopped, and two of them didn't buy a fishing license.
Nice.
And I'm like,
Nice.
guys,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get a ticket. Like, we got stopped bow fishing, at the launch.
Yeah.
And he's like checking everybody, and I'm like, why would you lie to me and say that you have your fishing? I don't care. I'm just trying to save you from ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're dumb.
Can't fix stupid sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I think, we're 32. You're a grown man.
Yeah. Right.
You can figure it out
It's
for
on
yourself.
you, bud.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So give us kind of just a background, origin story for you and getting into duck hunting.
Oh, like from the beginning?
Yeah. How'd you get into it?
My dad was doing it with some of his best friends for the longest time, and they were hungry for birds.
Yep.
And so my dad started taking me in the blind when I was a year and a half. It's actually my first memory ever was being out in the duck blind and getting my boots stuck in the mud. And I'd sit at the bottom of the blind poking the eyes out of the birds just because I was just like,
What else are you going to do?
Yeah. And I loved it. I was eaten up by it. And we grew up hunting with Tim Grounds and Hunter Grounds. And my dad was friends with like Fred Zink way back in the day. Like,
dang.
Because Tim Grounds would just bring everybody everywhere.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like 9 years ago. I was looking through pictures from my dad's place, and I'm like, where was this? He goes, oh, that's with Roy Carter down at Carter's Big, or before he had his guide service, in Kansas. And I'm like, you mean Carter's Big Island? He goes, yeah. Don't you remember going down there when you were like 6? I'm like, no.
That's crazy.
And then there's pictures of, hundreds of pictures of me with Tim Grounds when I was like 4. And, all these pictures. And I'm looking at them like, that's Kelly Powers. That's Fred Zink. That is, this other famous person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Rob, you realize that all of these people are just studs in the outdoor industry, and they're just absolute legends. He goes, oh, yeah, no, they were really good on a call.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I wonder why, right?
Yeah. And so, no, it's just always kind of been in my blood. And then he stopped hunting when I was like 13, 14, and that's when I really got eaten up by it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he wouldn't go hunting with me anymore. So I would just go in our backyard every time I could. And that's where I like really started cutting my teeth. And then I got really good at duck and goose calling. And then, stopped hunting right out of high school because I was chasing girls and loved drinking,
Yeah.
And so, and then I did some roofing work for a guy in exchange for a John boat.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, I don't want to pay you money for this, but I need you to install 9 turbines on my house. What do you want to get paid? I'm like, I don't know, $1,400. He's like, how about this? I give you this 1436 John boat that has a working 15-horse Johnson. And I was like,
done.
Sweet. He goes, it's a perfect duck hunting boat. And like something like clicked in my head. I'm like, wow, I haven't duck hunted in a while. I'm like, that sounds really cool. And then the fire was just reignited after that. I started killing canvasbacks, bluebills, buffleheads, teal, mallards, and that's when I really got back into my faith with God too. Was I woke up one morning, I grew up Christian, accepted God when I was younger, and then like truly accepted him into my heart when I was 17, 16 on a missions trip in Nicaragua.
Sweet.
And then, it's like the campfire or the church camp syndrome. You're super on fire for God for a little bit, and then life goes on, and then, you come back at some point. And so I think it took me like 2.5 years to come back and like really dive into it for like myself and like for my own reasons. And it's all, I attribute the whole thing to, duck hunting. I watched the whole world wake up one day And I'm like, wow, this is so not by chance. You know, how did I forget this? And then I shot a mallard, and I'm just looking at the iridescence, the pink or the purple, the green, the blue as you turn the head in the sunshine. And I'm just like, wow, you know, this is not by chance, you know. And then shortly after that, I brought Cal up for his first duck hunt. I mean, all my friends were like, Joe, where'd you go? And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you don't come to the U of M anymore. You're not partying with us anymore. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm duck hunting, like every chance I can get. They're like, what? And then I started taking all my friends, and there was like a 5-year period where I was probably bringing 30 to 45 people a year for their first duck hunt.
That's awesome.
And I think there's only like 2 that didn't continue.
Really?
You know,
those are some good numbers.
Yeah. Do you feel like you kind of got a kick out of that though? Taking people for the first time?
Dude, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And that made me experiment with guiding a little bit. And that is not for me.
Have you ever guided?
Not. Yeah. No, I've helped other people guide, you know, like I went and guided at Stewart Ranch in Oklahoma for 2 weeks, and that was really fun, but it was exhausting. And then I've helped guide geese in Fergus. I've helped Joe Heinz guide. I've helped Nick Johnson guide. You know, all my friends have a guide service nowadays. And so they're just like, hey, I need some help goose calling. Can you come and help? You know, and then you end up setting the whole spread. I helped a guy guide snow geese for about like 8 years. You know, I'd go out there for like a week and a half every year and help them set 3 migrator spreads, and then help brush all the blinds, all the A-frames, and then, you know, just send my dog out to help retrieve birds and set up batteries and rotary machines in the morning. So I wouldn't really call it guiding, you know?
Yeah.
Because you're not really doing anything. You're just going out and sitting in a field underneath the flight line, and, you know, but yeah. But no, seeing someone's eyes go like this right before they shoot, because they've never seen a bird cup up right in front of them at 15 yards. They're just going,
what is
and
this?
You're like, kill them. And you just see their arms just trying to kick the gun. And they miss 3 times in a row, and they're just like, holy shit,
that was awesome.
Oh my God. I'm like, I know. But yeah, and then I took Cal out for his first duck hunt, didn't have waders or anything, and shot a hen gadwall on the water, and he was just pumped. And then like 6 months later, he's like, dude, we should start a YouTube channel with Connor Olstad. And I'm like, what? And then I got really self-conscious about my calling, and I'm like, you know what, if we're going to start a YouTube channel, I better have nobody say anything about my calling, because I'm not a world championship caller.
Right.
Nothing like that. I don't have the credentials. You know? And who am I going to be to teach anybody to do anything if I don't have those credentials, you know? And so then I just practiced my butt off for like a year and a half straight, and, you know, got pretty decent. So yeah, and then we started Midwest Flyways shortly after that, and we're almost at 10 years of doing that.
Crazy. 10 years, man.
I know. 10 years to get to do something I'm passionate about more so than I would have if I didn't start a company doing it. It's pretty cool. Very fortunate.
You know, with all that though, it's funny how God just works in ways like that, to where, you know, you just kind of ask and you receive, but it's crazy of just time. I mean, for, you know, we're all the same age, but just like where time is gone. I mean, the fact that we're all, 32, 33, 34 right now. And it's just like, what the hell, 10 years, like that seems like so long ago now, but it's like, what a fun journey. I mean, like all the memories that you had along the way.
No, it's been the coolest thing in the world, man. And we started it with Connor Olstad. I don't know if you guys know Connor. And
does incredible work.
Oh my God, dude, he's insane. He's like seriously one of the best photographers in the outdoor space, in my opinion.
For sure.
And he's very humble about it too, which is really cool. And he's also a very strong Christian as well. But you know, when he left Midwest Flyways to pursue his own thing, I was really bummed out at first, because we were like the ultimate trio. And you know, it worked out for him and it worked out for us in the long run. But yeah, like the amount of time on the road that us three had together over 6 years together was incredible.
Mm.
It was so cool. And just looking back, and it's all on video.
Yeah.
And it's all in pictures. That's the coolest part. So it's not like Connor died or anything. And I can still look back and I can still call him on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to relive those all the time.
Mm.
It's fun.
Well, I think
It's
you
so
guys
cool
just
to go
had
back.
Connor on the podcast.
We did.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird not seeing him hardly at all now.
Have you guys done a hunt together though?
Yeah, he filmed a hunt in Iowa for us last year.
Nice.
Yep. And he's still amazing.
Yeah.
He's better. He's better somehow.
Yeah, he
So it
does.
was-
He
it was
does
good to do
incredible
that.
work. Yeah, I think that's where we did our podcast with Cal. Was in his
Mhm.
studio.
Oh yeah, that's right. Off of
Yep.
Bass Lake Road.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or off of 169. Mm-hmm.
Did you guys ever
Mhm.
think you'd be, when you started it almost 10 years ago, you ever think you'd be sitting in a fancy new studio?
No.
Yeah.
Not even in the slightest. When we started it in 2016, I'm just like, dude, what are we doing? Like we were filming videos in my dad's warehouse in Golden Valley, and they were just the dumbest videos, and I looked like an absolute freak with my long hair because I wanted to look like a pirate. I said to myself, I'm probably gonna lose my hair at some point in my life, so if I'm gonna grow it out, I'm not dating anybody.
Yeah.
I don't have kids. My job, I'm self-employed.
Right.
I'm not like actively going out and selling work for a larger company or anything. I'm like, this is the only time I'm gonna be able to do it. And they're like, hey, you look like shit. Let's start a YouTube channel and you're gonna be the guy in front of the camera the whole time. I'm like,
Perfect.
yeah, let's do it.
Makes sense.
Let's do it.
Yep.
It's bad. It was bad, dude. It was gross. It was gross. But no, we're extremely blessed and fortunate with all the support we've gotten on our podcast, YouTube channel,
Mhm.
social media. And it's very humbling.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So with all that though, what would you say the most, rewarding thing is that you've kind of taken from it? I mean, is it like just reaching out to new people and inspiring new people getting into hunting? Or is it a little bit more of like that self gratification? Like you guys have been able to like cross all these milestones that you have.
A little bit of both, if I'm being honest. It is like we just got fresh off a game fair,
Mhm.
and every time we do game fair, we get to meet so many of like people that are subscribed and watch our stuff and listen to our podcast for some reason. And they have such nice words to say. And it's just like, wow, you just like forget, because it's kind of like a job now at this point. And you're constantly coming up with new ideas to talk about and people to get on your podcast and just like educational content. And to hear so many people say, your guys' calling videos have helped me out so much. It took me from a zero duck hunting person to like, I'm really proficient at it. And I just learned so much. And it's like, wow, that is so cool. And that was one of the main things that we wanted to do with our YouTube channel. Connor was so adamant. He's like, we have to sit down and think about why we are doing this. Are we doing it to become famous? Are we doing it to be like to make money? Like those are fine, but like we need to set our goals.
Yep.
We need to have a reason why we're doing this. And we all sat down and we said, Cal looked at duck hunting. And he's like, if I didn't have you, Joe, I would never have gotten into the sport. Because when you look at it, it's so intimidating.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You need a $10,000 boat. You need a $2,000 shotgun. You need a $150 duck call, a $200 goose call. You need a dog that's well trained. You need a layout blind. You need a trailer full of decoys. You need 6 dozen mallard float. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
By that time, you're 20 grand in the hole.
Mhm.
Really, really fast.
And nobody's going to tell you where to go hunt.
Nope.
So you have to try to figure that all by yourself. Now you think about that as a 25-year-old getting into the sport, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep.
you're never going to take that on solo. And if someone does, I applaud them.
Mm-hmm.
because they are insane. And the amount of people that have told me that's what they've done by scouring YouTube is crazy.
Mm.
And so our goal was to pass on the traditions of duck hunting to the younger generation and to essentially make it easier for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Yeah. Is that what you would say maybe separates you guys a little bit from, other channels?
Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe. I've really tried to not focus on other people's channels.
Yeah.
Like when we started it, there weren't a bunch of people doing it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2016, like there was like the Bobby guys and a couple other people that I'm forgetting their names, but they're pretty big now. Like Flair is one of them, and all that. But like Bobby did the same thing. He had a bunch of educational content.
Yep.
And he helped a lot of people get into the sport, and he taught a lot of people how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I met Bobby very early in our YouTube career. And so, and we became friends immediately. So there was no like competition.
Yep.
Essentially. And we both have the same goal. We want to help people learn how to hunt better and, put some cool content out there, like for videoed hunts. So yeah, but I don't know. I've really focused on the duck and goose calling tutorials because before we started our YouTube channel, I called all my dad's friends that are just world championship goose callers and duck callers. And I was like, hey, can you teach me how to become a better duck caller? And they're like, I don't have time. I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time. I don't have time. Buy my CD. Go buy Bad Grammar.
Mm-hmm.
Go, yo, what are you blowing for a goose call? No, buy this better goose call. And that'll make it better. It's like, cool.
Thanks.
That's not how shit works. But so then I went to YouTube and I'm like trying to learn how to do a double cluck. And I can't remember who was doing the tutorial. It was so frustrating. But he's just like, here's how you do the double cluck. You're going to put the call up to your mouth and you're going to blow 2 breaths of air. And it's going to sound like this. And he blew it. And he goes, thanks for watching.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Figure it out.
You didn't teach me shit, dude. And so I had to like learn all those notes for myself.
Sure.
And I had to like put in painstaking hours to figure it out. And it's not like I was a bad caller to start out or anything. Like I had a decent amount of experience, and I figured it out. And I'm like, okay, this is how I do it. This is how I do it. So when we started the YouTube channel, I was like, I'm going to actually teach people how to blow notes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take 5 minutes to explain it and explain what most people do wrong, what I did wrong, and how to correct it. And it just took off.
Yep. Now you still do some private lessons, don't you?
I do. Yep. I think I just hit 816.
Oh, wow.
Dang. 816th lesson.
Wow.
It's crazy.
In the last like 7 years. Yeah, it's insane.
How do you?
And I've met the coolest people doing it.
I bet.
Seriously, the coolest.
I bet.
Like I've got to travel all over the country. They're like, dude, you got to come and hunt. And I just get to know them enough where I'm like, yeah, I could actually hang out with you.
Sure.
Yeah. Then I go and hang out with them and I have a blast and they treat me like I'm a very honored, esteemed guest.
Yeah.
Like won't let me pay for anything. I can stay at their place. All I have to do is get there and buy a license and they got everything else covered. And like, I do that for people when they travel to me, and it's just the coolest thing.
Yep.
They're all salt of the earth.
You kind of just hit on it there a little bit. And I give you guys credits. Like when you guys started Midwest Flyways, I mean, it was kind of that pinnacle era of work where I feel like outdoor TV was slowly becoming second fiddle to YouTube, and YouTube was really just starting to ramp up. But, with all this and all that you guys have done and given back and stuff, what has been kind of like what you're just saying there, like those moments of like meeting people finally? Is that something to where like that is just, it's got to feel so good, like being able to get together with people that follow the show, follow you, want to learn from you, but also just have those opportunities to like personally interact with them, like one-on-one, compared to just via getting a comment on YouTube, actually getting out in the field with these people. And it sounds like the community and the waterfowl upland space is just incredible. I mean, just seems like everybody's just good people.
They are, man. Here's how I always put it. We're all insane. We all wake up at 4 a.m. to go hang out in the cold to shoot 6 ducks and 5 geese. We all are a little insane, and we all have the same passion at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get past other people's religions, what they've done wrong in life, and what they do for a job or their political affiliation,
Mm-hmm.
Like the normal things that people get upset at each other for.
Yep.
Like you're both chasing the same passion. You're so hardcore about it that you're going to go out in the worst weather and go kill that bird. Like you're going to have some sort of amazing fellowship with that person.
Yeah.
I'm just lucky that most hunters I should say are Christian, and follow God,
Yep.
And that's nice.
I mean, kind of going off of that note too. I mean, if you had, you can take it a couple ways, I guess. You could take it personally from your own experiences individually or with other people. Have you had a moment where you felt God being out in those moments, being out in the marsh, being out in the river, being on the boat, of where it's just like, yep, God is here today? If it's just been an interaction that you've had a person that you weren't expecting, or just the utter beauty of like a morning. Is there a couple of moments that you can think about where it's just like, yep, the Holy Spirit's here right now. This is, you get that warm, bubbly feeling inside of you. You could speak on any of those?
Dude. Well, like I was saying earlier, that first duck hunt that I went back out with that new John boat, got there way too early. It kind of started snowing. Kind of started snowing a little bit that morning, and I'm watching the snowflakes fall, and I watched the sun come up, and that first mallard just dump into my spread. Perfect shot. My dog went and retrieved it, and it was a brand new dog to me at the time. And she brings it back, and it was just a perfect retrieve. And I'm like holding this mallard, and I'm looking at the iridescence, and I'm like, this is not by accident. I am absolutely meant to be here. And that was the moment that I started praying more than I ever had, and like had a true relationship with God. It's not like, dear Heavenly Father, who art thou in heaven?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm talking to Jesus, like
personal
I'm talking
level.
to you.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm talking to
friend.
you right now. Yeah. I'm trying to have a real relationship with him. I'm not going to have a real relationship unless I can talk to him like I would a normal person. But obviously there's still some fervency with it. Like I still obviously acknowledge the fact that he is the almighty being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, come on, dude. Sometimes,
sure.
Yeah. And I'm really frustrated about stuff, but that was like the biggest turning point. And then ever since then, I always, especially if I'm hunting by myself, man, it's just like an open dialogue with God, and I just feel his presence almost every time I'm out hunting.
How do you balance all that with kids, relationship with your wife, full-time job, Midwest Flyways? How do you you're just talking about creating that relationship. How do you maintain it?
Of hunting?
No, just maintaining your relationship with God, like fitting in that time to, like you're talking about, where you're just like, how do you fit it in with everything else you got going in? Do you just take some time each day?
That's the most calming part of my day, and my life right now is so stressful and overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I was just telling my boss today, I'm like, dude, I am losing it. I'm about to snap. Because I need to provide for my family. My wife stays at home.
Yep.
With our kids, which is incredible, but also extremely scary.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the sole breadwinner, and which means I need to work more than I did before. Right.
Yeah.
Which then takes me away from my family, which should be number one. But if I don't provide for my family, then I'm going to be spending too much time with my family, and I can't pay my bills.
Right.
So it's this constant circle. And I explained to my wife when we first started dating back in 2017, and then we broke up for 3 years, got back together. But I told her, I'm like, hey, fun summer, Joey, where you see him all the time? You haven't experienced me during hunting season. I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
I'm a ghost. And I go to bed at 8 p.m. and I wake up at 3. You know, so like I'm not gonna go and hang out with your friends, whatever. And I was like, you're more than welcome to come out with me. Don't ever try to stop me from doing it, because this is what makes me into a person. That's like the one thing that calms me down, because life is so busy.
Right.
And that's the one like true excuse that you can slow down. You're out in nature and you can just have a conversation with God. And my wife knows that. I take her hunting with me all the time, or not as much now that we have kids, but she understands how important it is to me. And I've explained to her like how I talk to God while I'm hunting, and how I'm just so grateful to be out there, whether I do or don't harvest, you know.
Amen.
And it helps me collect myself and collect my thoughts and reflect on how I treat others and how I am acting. Am I really exemplifying, you know, God in my actions, or am I not? You know, and that's something that I think about a lot, because I'm in construction, I'm a hunter, and so like I swear too much for sure. And if I talk to someone about God and they're like, dude, I listen to your podcast and you swear too much, I'm like, ooh, you know, that makes me feel terrible. And so that's one of those areas that I can, you know, ask for some help in that area. Where it's like, not everybody likes vulgar speech.
Yep.
You know, and I'm just trying to do a better job of being a good Christian man and show people through my actions instead of preaching at them. You know,
right?
100%.
You?
That's really good.
On that note, I was actually I'm a reader, so I was just started reading this new book, and he kind of hit on something there that was kind of that piece about you swear too much. You know, it kind of goes back to, you know, Jesus talking about, you know, the picking the speck out of your neighbor's eye. But, you know, do you think, this might come off kind of weird, but do you think churches do to us what zoos do to animals, as far as, that's kind of deep and philosophical there, but like they talked about in this book where it's like, you're almost like taught to be like have like a safe faith. You're supposed to fall in line. You're supposed to, you know, you can't swear, you can't, but it's like, man, dude, we're human. We're men on top of that, you know? So we're messing up all the time, right? Saying stupid stuff.
That's sexist, but okay.
But, but you know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes like the church in and of itself is like just too, like, these are the rules. And yes, I understand like the 10 Commandments are follow those, but like, you know what I'm getting at there?
Yeah. I don't understand the zoo thing though, if you wouldn't mind explaining.
Yeah.
That.
So like, just like taming that like wild spirit from within, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like
putting your Christianity in a box.
Exactly. That's safe faith of like, you know, I go to church on Sunday, but I'm listening to it, but I'm not doing it on Monday. Right. Like I'm playing the part, right? I'm playing the part of, well, this is a wolf in a zoo, right? It looks like a wolf in a zoo, but if you put that up with a wolf in the wild, you got two different things.
Yeah. I don't know. I always had a problem with the church growing up.
Yeah.
I was made an example by my youth pastor growing up because I just talked too much. You know, it's not that I was necessarily doing anything bad.
Yep.
It's just, you know, everybody's talking in a group of 50 to 60 kids, and I'm always the one that got called out. And he pulled me aside all the time, and he'd say, Joe, you're a leader. I need you to, you know, be a leader for these kids, and you need to stop distracting others. Like when I'm talking and this and that. And I'm like, okay, but there's like 20 other people.
Yeah, doing the same.
Doing it. Why are you always calling me out? And finally just got to the point where I'm like, dude, I'm so over the church. I don't need to be in the church to be a Christian. And then God just put it heavy on my heart that, like, you know, 7 years later, I didn't go to church for 7 years. Still a Christian. I still read my Bible. I still prayed to God all the time. And I still talked about my Christianity as much as I could. But I just didn't want to go to the building. And then God put it heavy on my heart. Like, you need to go back to the building. And it's been incredible going back. For sure. And like having that fellowship with other people and being able to confide in other people about like your struggles and, you know, the wins as well.
Well, so, I think you just hit it on the head. Like, I look at the church, like, you know, obviously it's designed for us to go and worship, but at the same point in time, I think he designed it for us to have that fellowship. But I think people forget that and look at, putting us all in the kind of the same cut here. I think people look at it for people that haven't necessarily rebelled, but in a sense of where we are kind of those outspoken people that maybe don't necessarily fit in going every Sunday. But at the same point in time, though, we have that personal connection and that personal relationship, which ultimately I think is the most important thing to have, is a personal relationship with Christ. So,
For sure.
yeah, that's where that's a good analogy. That wasn't expecting that one.
Usually do for one a podcast, right? No, but it gets me thinking too. It's like, I mean, maybe it's just for me, because you tend to maybe get down on yourself and make yourself feel like you're not worthy to be in that crowd of people at Mass on Sunday sometimes. But for me especially, I think that's where it's like the outdoors, insert duck hunting, deer hunting, whatever here. When you're out doing it, when you're out with a group of guys, even if it's just, you and a buddy, like, I feel like that for me is so much more easier to have those kinds of conversations where it's just that raw, it's like, I went down to Kansas with Cal back in January. I talked to him in person maybe twice, but it's like, you got 8-hour drive ahead of you. You're going to figure things out. Right. So it's like, it's just like that same, you're there doing the same shitty thing. Right. And wanting to be there. And it just like that camaraderie just stems and flows through to opening up a lot of cool conversations.
For sure. One thing I really struggle with, and maybe you guys can, maybe you felt the same way before. I used to think that because I outwardly sin, right? Like I swear too much. I probably excessively drink alcohol sometimes. Actually, I know I do. And then, I do a litany of other things that are sins. And we have this platform in our podcast and whatever. And it's like, for a long time, I was kind of worried about talking about Christianity on the podcast because I didn't want to represent Christianity in a bad light. And I was talking to a guy about God one time, and he's like, Joe, I can't be a Christian. I get drunk all the time. I swear too much. I can't become a Christian. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Have you met me? Have you met me?
Yeah.
I'm drinking with you right now, talking to you about God.
Yeah.
Like it's totally fine. You can do that. And something just like sprung a thing in my head. It's like, no. That is Satan telling me to not use 100%. My platform for God. And as long as I am talking, if I'm not talking about God, he's winning. It doesn't matter that I have a personal relationship with him or not. Right. If I'm not spreading the news and trying to get other people to know about God, then Satan's winning. And so I think it's that weird thing. It's your Christianity in a box. You shouldn't tell people about your sins, and you should pretend like you're perfect. And if you are doing bad things, you shouldn't tell anybody that you're a Christian because of what it could be for the faith, for the religion.
Right.
And I don't know if you guys have ever struggled with that as well.
Yeah. I mean, like going off of that, and Luke, maybe you can attest to the same thing. Like when we started the podcast kind of after my dad died, and we both kind of had the same vision, what we wanted to deliver. And we're both the same, where we're not perfect in any shape, form, or factor. But it's like one of those things where it's like you have an opportunity to share raw and emotional feelings of where it's like, this is the struggles that we go through in an everyday life. And this is reality. No one's perfect. The only perfect person is Christ. So that's where it's like, why not? Like he that's what he wants us to do, is to do this. Even if we fall in our own sin and we fall on our face, it's like he's still right there, just being like, okay, get back up. Time to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dust it off.
Footsteps in the sand.
Yep. Yeah.
Footprints in the sand. You remember that?
Yeah.
Crazy. I only saw one set of footprints. Did you leave me, God? No, that's when I was carrying you.
Crazy, man.
Incredible. Incredible. I get goosebumps every time I read that.
Yep. It's like that whole, and we've talked about it till we're blue in the face on here is that, Billy Graham sermon about like, there's those moments in your life where you have to walk by sheer faith alone because you do not feel God anywhere. You do not see him. You are wondering, where are you, God? And that's exactly that time where you just you have to just have that trust in your faith in that no matter what storm is going to come, this too shall pass. And God's going to have my back. He's going to, like you just said, carry you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, especially with like what you're talking about, is I definitely feel it, when we kick out like a, like a Tuesday devotional or a Friday fuel or something like that. And there's times that, since we've started this podcast, obviously, where I feel like a complete hypocrite, because it's like, you just said you're not supposed to be doing this. And what the hell, you're doing it right now. And then it's like that whole Satan working in your head of just like, God, I am a fuck up. I am screwing up. I shouldn't be, why am I even doing this podcast thing? I mean, I'm doing, going against exactly what I just said you're not supposed to do on Tuesday. Right. So, I think that's just part of life, man. You're going to have those, and it's interesting too, because every person we've had on here has had that same kind of time point in their life where it's like that, not teenage angst, because it's like young man angst, right? Where it's like somewhere between 17 and mid 20s, like most guys, I feel like have that point in their life where they fall away from their faith a little bit. And then whatever it is, it's that come to Jesus moment, that moment out in the blind. Maybe it's something tragic even, God forbid, but where, it's just part of the plan.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There was this one time I was partying at the U of M, and we were pre-gaming, and I just got super drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Super drunk, and we go to Blarney's, and I go outside, and I'm like, I want to smoke a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go out to like the porch, and everybody's sitting out there, and there's one open seat, and it's in between two old people. And I mean old, like they're 60s. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Well, it'll probably be a...
What are you doing on a Saturday night at 11 p.m.?
At a college bar, No, it was like midnight. And I sit down and I spark a cig, and I'm talking to them, and I was like, well, this is going to be a really interesting conversation, guaranteed. And I started talking, and trust me, I am hammered drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I started talking to this guy, and I was like, what do you do? He goes, I'm a spiritual healer. And I go, what is a spiritual healer? And he starts going into his life story, how he was a pastor for years, and he fell out of his faith.
Mm-hmm.
He lost faith in God because of our generation, because of all the wicked things that our generation is doing. And he goes, there's no way that God is real if, whatever. It's either that or we're in the end times, whatever. I'm really shaky on the exact of the story at this point, because I was like 21, and we started talking about the Bible, and I started talking about how I went to a Christian high school, and I went through a Christian school K through 12, and started talking to him about God and whatever, and I blacked out, and I woke up the next morning, and I'm like, I got to get going home. And I get a phone call at 9:30 or something as I'm driving home, and it's the guy. And he called me crying, and he told me everything that we talked about the night before, and he said that he could feel the true, honest faith coming out of me, and I was quoting scripture like crazy, and telling him how, the world is like this, and like my generation is not the problem. Like your faith shouldn't fall off because of that. And he's really questioning me, and he knows the Bible really well. And he's like, I've never seen such true faith from someone. And I know it was genuine because you were blackout drunk, Joe.
Right.
Like you weren't trying to put on a face. He goes, God was speaking through you. And this was the first time I went to church in 17 years this morning.
Dang.
Wow.
And he was crying. I was crying.
Yeah.
Like on the phone. And I felt
It's
this super, super warm feeling run up my spine. I've only felt that. That was the second time I felt it. And it was, I could feel the Holy Spirit in me. And it was like God's way of telling me, like, it's not okay to sin, obviously, but like God will use you where you are at, no matter
100%.
what, if you have faith in God.
100%.
And that was just like the most incredible feeling. And as I'm thinking about like, should I talk about my faith? Should I not talk about my faith? Like, I'm a terrible example of a Christian man. It's like God is going to use me no matter where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, you still have to try to be better, and you have to stop trying to sin. You can't keep falling into the same temptations all the time. And it was just a really good, healthy reminder that this is so much bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know, I have no control in that. So literally, I had no control in that situation.
Right.
And he still used me in a way. And I haven't talked to the guy since, and I don't know like where he's at in his journey, but hopefully he's doing really good.
Dude, that's an incredible story. And I think it's amazing how, I was actually just in a Bible study last night with my wife, and we went over a subject called the particulars, which I've never heard it described that way before, but that was kind of a situation like that, to where it's like these moments that it's like divine intervention, where he's like stuck you in this place where he's like, hey, I'm going to tee up this ball for you. You can hit a home run or you can't hit a home run. And he's like, I'm still going to love you regardless if you don't take advantage of the situation or not. But it's just like that natural instinct kicks in where it's like, hey, do you believe in God? It's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to deny my Lord, my Savior. And you just kind of start going into it. And it's just amazing how like the Holy Spirit in moments like that speaks through you. And you, like you were just saying, I mean, obviously you were intoxicated, but like you don't recall. It's just like it just flowed from your mouth, and like
it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
But like that moment was meant to. That moment was meant to happen, though. I mean, like how cool is that?
It was beyond cool, dude. Beyond cool. And for anybody listening to this podcast, I just hope that if you take anything from my ramblings and stupidity, is do not be afraid to talk about your faith. God will find a way to speak through you to someone. Like, you have no idea the seeds that you are planting just by talking about it and being secure in your faith. And if you are going to talk about your faith, you need to know about what you're talking about. You need to be well versed in the Bible.
Yeah.
So that when people bring up things like abortion, heaven and hell, the end times, like all of these things that are just like political spark plugs right now in our culture, like you need to know where you stand, and you need to like be educated and speak well.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can do that is through the Bible. Don't listen to what a pastor says. Do your own reading, because there is some weird pastoral things going on right now in the world too.
Big time.
And I know that you've obviously have kind of gone down your own journey of finding your own faith and building that relationship with God. But, we talk about on here a lot too, of, iron sharpens iron. Like, do you have anybody in your life, I mean, that is, a spiritual influencer, or just a friend, or whoever that might be, or a family member that's really has just sparked your passion even more so?
Yeah. Cal and I bounce off of each other quite a bit.
That's cool.
And him and I, Cal is like the brains behind Midwest Flyways. He does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes with Carter. And, I don't know if you guys remember, Tim Grounds used to send a Natural Gear Bible with a lot of his calls. Like he'd buy a Bible out of his own pocket and send it with a call.
That's awesome.
Which is just the coolest thing ever,
So
dude.
cool.
And so Cal, as we come up with more and more merch, and we're doing this thing called More Mallards as well, he's like, dude, I really feel like we should put a Bible verse on our clothing, like on the tag of our clothing. I was like, dude, absolutely. That's not even a question.
Yep.
I think that is so cool. And so for Cal to be thinking like that, it pushes me to be more so immersed in my faith, especially with like our platform, dude. Like if I have this platform and I talk in front of this many people, and people are like, dude, I love the podcast, I love the YouTube channel, you taught me so much, whatever. It's an instant platform to say anything about God.
100%.
you know, and I need to seize that opportunity. I need to stop that voice in my head saying, you're not good enough. You're a terrible Christian. You're going to sully the name of Christianity if you keep talking. It's like, if I do, it's not meant to be. But if anything, it's probably just going to be a seed planted.
Mm-hmm.
And
You know, and I hope that I don't turn people away from Christianity with my mouth or my actions. But, you know, that's not really up to me, you know, at the end of the day, kind of.
Yeah. I think a lot of things, or something that a lot of people need to remember and realize, because like the Bible is like I don't know how to say it, but like the Bible is such all the people that are mentioned in the Bible, from Adam and Eve all the way through the end, they're all screw ups. They're all mess ups, right? So like what you're doing right now is so minuscule to some of them. I mean, like think of like, you know, Paul,
think of the disciples,
David,
every
Peter,
single one of them.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
Everybody.
The list goes on and on and on. They all screwed up. They all denied Christ. They all persecuted Christians with Paul, right? It's like you're doing all right, right? And that's what a lot of people need to remember is like, as bad as you think you're doing right now, God still loves you, and no matter what, all he wants to do is just have you turn back to him and have that faith, and that, like you're talking, Joey, like just have that open line of communication, like you're talking to just another guy out in the duck blind, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go
No,
it.
that's my big thing is we're all sinners,
Mhm.
and every sin is exactly the same.
Mm.
You know, other than like blasphemy.
Sure.
You know. But like even then, man, like look at Saul, then turned Paul.
Right.
You know, he was killing Christians and rebuking the name of God and smiting God.
Mm-hmm.
And then God turns his life around, blinds him, you know, turns his life around, and now he's like one of the biggest evangelists of all time.
Right.
You know? So if he can do that with someone like that, you doing whatever you're doing is so tiny.
Right.
And like persevere, dude.
Yeah.
And I think we forget that all the time, like how big God really is. Like that's what we were talking about like last night, where it's just like we forget that so much of like what God can actually do. It's like astonishing. It's like if you really think about it, it's like he could do anything he wants. And like all the people that he's gone through since the beginning of time and has just completely revolutionized their lives for good, you know, is just astonishing to me, where it's like we just get narrow-minded in our own ways of trying to be in control, and it's just like, man, anything is possible through Christ.
No, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Before we switch her up here, I wanted to just touch on, I know you said you guys are starting to add some Bible verses to your merch, and I really liked it was on your shirts, I think, at Game Fair, the Luke chapter 15. Go into that. Why'd you pick that one?
Cal picked it.
Okay.
Cal picked that one, so I'd have to look up the verse again to see what it's all about.
Yep.
But
wasn't it God so loved the world?
Lost sheep.
Lost sheep. Okay.
Yep. You know.
So what is the full verse, I guess?
There he is. It's basically just if there's 99 sheep and one leaves, right? Won't the shepherd go after that one sheep? And that's just
15:3.
Yeah. So like with, God's going to leave the 99 sheep to go get that one and bring it back to the flock, and that's the shepherd, right? But God has that relationship with us. So no matter how far out, how lost you think you may be, he's still going to seek you out. Right. And when we started talking about all this stuff, it just kind of clicked in my head that was kind of cool how you guys picked that one. And it's just exactly kind of what we're talking about here tonight too.
Well, it's who I am. I've been the one sheep my entire life.
Yeah.
I've done terrible things and continue to do not great things. I mess up every single day, but I have comfort at the end of the day that I'm still saved and that I can still do good for other people. I tell Cal this all the time. We actually just talked about it pretty heavy. We're like, both of us we're both so stressed. We're in the throes of young kids and you end up fighting with your wives more.
Yep.
And work is stressful and you're running a couple businesses at the same time, and they're 24 hours in a day is not even close to enough.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking the other day, and he's like, dude, how do you handle it? Like, you have 2 kids, I have 1. How do you handle it? I'm like, bro, it's all in how you pray.
Mm.
It's all in how you pray. I switched up how I prayed in 2020 because my life was an absolute shambles.
Mm.
Work, relationship, COVID had just started. There was so much uncertainty with COVID, especially in my line of work. I was doing door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
Nobody wants you coming up to the door, you know? And so I was just incredibly worried, and I'm just like, God, I'm going to put it all up to you, and I'm just going to talk to you like I'm talking to Cal right now, because I am scared. I don't know what to do. I am terrified. I have no choice other than to trust you. And like, that's all I got. I have to put my full faith in you.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started talking like that, my life started getting a little bit better. And then I would remember to thank him instead of whine about all my problems. I'm like, thank you for all the things that you have given me.
Mm.
You
100%.
know, it's not a relationship if you're just asking for things all the time.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's give and take. You have to realize, like, a lot of people do a prayer journal of like their answered prayers so they can go back and be like, oh my gosh, 3 weeks ago, I prayed that I'd get this promotion at work, and I got the promotion at work. I haven't even thanked God yet. So I better go through my prayer journal and be like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, when I pray in front of my kids, I make it a point to say everything that I'm grateful for
Mm-hmm.
before I ask for anything.
Yep.
You know, because I am so grateful.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to buy a home in like the worst point of the housing market.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 7% interest rate. Boo.
I hear you.
Boo.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm so grateful that I'm able to spend way too much money on a mortgage
Mm-hmm.
in order to gain equity in a home and be able to shelter my family.
Right.
You know, I'm so grateful. And so that's what I was talking to Cal about. Like, dude, whenever I hear people pray, it's so robotic.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so robotic. I'm not saying that you're doing it, but like, switch it up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and remember all the things that you're grateful for.
Right.
I think with that too, I mean, like, gratitude is the gateway to peace, I think, in terms of like where you just feel at one in life with him and you can just know that everything is okay. But I mean, like, my question, I guess, for you is, for the people that don't know how to pray, how do you pray?
Like I was saying before, you talk to God like you're talking to a friend. And a lot of people ask for wisdom. They ask for strength. They ask for courage. Lord, help me get through this hard season in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what he's going to do? He's going to give you an opportunity to become stronger, to be courageous, to become wise. You're going to have these really tough struggles, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And like, that's what makes you wise. You have to
Yeah.
have experiences with bad things in order to overcome and to be a stronger individual. And so, like, let's say you have a really hard meeting coming up. The way that I would pray about that meeting is, God, please help me to know the right things to say at the right time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you have to get really specific with it. Just be like, help me to have a calm, level head and to be humble above all things, you know, because I've always been very confident in my life, and it comes across as cocky or arrogant or whatever. And I've had friends tell me that before, like, dude, you're being an asshole.
Mm.
And I'm like, that's not my intention, you know? So I just pray for humility and remind myself, like, hey, chill, you know, chill. And so, but yeah, you have to get really specific with your prayer and like understand what you're actually praying for.
Mm-hmm.
So like really get analytical. I'm extremely analytical.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier for me, but like I think way too much about stuff, and it's kind of, and then I get anxious and
Mm-hmm.
I get worried. And so I just have to be like, dude, I'm just going to trust in you for this thing
Mm-hmm.
because you know me, I am an anxious person, and I'm going to overthink the crap out of it. So please just take all that stuff out of my way.
Mm-hmm.
Please do not let the devil get into my head and make me second guess myself. I know that you made me a smart person, and I have a good head on my shoulders, and I have a good heart. So please help that shine through in this meeting versus all my insecurities and my worries. You know,
Preach it,
that's one way. That's one way that I pray.
man.
Amen.
You know, just get real personal.
Yep.
Way too personal. Because he already knows.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
He already knows.
that's the best part.
Right. And I think we forget that,
Yep.
you know?
Yep, for sure.
I forget it.
Oh, yeah.
Just got to be like, hey, man, I suck. I really suck. I really suck. I'm trying. But, like, I said this to my wife yesterday, and I feel terrible. I know I should apologize, and it's my pride telling me to just hold on to it a little bit longer. Should I just go and apologize and see how it works out? And guess what? It usually works out.
Yeah. Yep.
That's right.
You know?
That's right, man.
So yeah.
Love it.
Preaching, man. Love it.
How about you, Evan? How do you pray?
You know what? For me, it's took me a long time to really kind of go through and learn how to pray. I mean, like similar kind of, you know, cut from the same cloth type of deal where it's like as a kid, grew up Christian, and I had a very good relationship, I think. And my dad was a huge spiritual influencer for me my whole entire life. But just like, you know, we said it earlier in the podcast, you know, you kind of drift away, went to college, did all the fun stuff and kind of got away from it. And really, honestly, like until my dad passed in 2021, that was like my rock bottom in life. And after that happened, I went through kind of this whole spiritual transformation, and I really started to build that one-on-one relationship with God. And through all that, though, I kind of learned how to really pray. And like you were just talking about, where it's like, we said it earlier, where we forget how big God is, and what, you know, it's God wants you to ask for the things that you need in your life and the things that you want to pray, like things that you're struggling with, you know, and being straightforward and honest with him and building. But that's like what you would want in a friend. You know, I would want Luke to be honest with me if we're talking about stuff and not tell me like the truth, where it's like, that's what he's dying and just waiting for us to talk to him like that, where you're having that one-on-one relationship. But I have always looked at prayer where it's like, I'm talking to my wife, I'm talking to my best friend, I'm talking to somebody that I've talked to really my whole entire life, but really just opening my heart and letting what I'm feeling speak through that, and just kind of being transparent with everything that I've got going on. And I feel like it's hard. I will admit, like, it is hard when you first start praying, because it feels awkward and it feels weird. And it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, probably not even listening right now. And then like it just gets easier and easier. And then all of a sudden you start catching yourself where it's like these little things that start happening where they're probably not that big of things, but you start praying on the little things. And you realize that like how helpful that is. And especially like me too, like I've got anxiety and stuff, and where it's like, I know when I'm in tune with the Lord, when I'm at peace, of where I can go through each day and I don't feel too stressed about anything. And there could be a whole shit fires going on in my life, and where I just feel at peace. But really it's just, man, just having that one-on-one relationship, knowing where I could pray about anything, the big things and little things. But I think you hit it on the head. The biggest thing where it's been transformational for me is just being grateful. Like there's so much power in that, of just where it's like, I think we forget that so often, where it's like, there's so many things to be grateful. And then being grateful for the things that I can't even understand, because there's plenty of things that are working in my life that I have not the willpower or the no power, that I can't even understand it, that God's got things working for me that I don't even know yet.
Right. Well, and think about the things that have transformed you into who you are today. I don't know about you guys, but I've been screwed out of some serious money. Big time in construction, where, you know, hey, like I had a guy tell me, oh, Joe, you're fine. Like, well, I can't pay you half down, but don't worry, I'm a Christian man. Like, I would never screw over something like that. And guess what? I got screwed over.
God.
I got 36 grand taken away from me at the end of a project. and I really needed that 36 grand to pay subs, material handlers, everything. And so I was taught in business, you pay everybody out before yourself. And so here I am left with nothing at the end of a job. And I'm like, and now looking back, one of those moments where I got screwed out of it, or I got treated like shit by people that were in charge of me, what those things taught me is never screw people over, take care of other people instead of yourselves. And it has helped me become a great manager of people to help run a business, help me understand, and has brought me more work since then.
Yeah.
And I've learned so much from those opportunities. And there's a couple of times where God told me to call the people that were such assholes to me after the fact and thank them for what they taught me. And let me tell you, that was hard.
Yeah.
That was really hard to not say fuck you on the phone, you know, because I hadn't talked to him in 7 years, 8 years. You know, the dude would shoot me in the face with a nail gun from 10 feet away. He beat the crap out of me on a roof one time. And I'm like, why would I want to call this guy? And God's like, call him. Call him. And I'm like, okay. And I called him. We had a great conversation. And a couple weeks later, I got a referral from him that he probably didn't think I was going to make a whole lot of money, but I turned it into a lot of money. So right there, I instantly earned back what he screwed out of me, you know, from that one job. And it's just like, I am so small and insignificant that if I don't listen to that voice of God telling me to do those things and to be grateful that I experienced those things, you know, I still would be here like all harboring the anger and still out money that they screwed me out of, you know, but it's always come back. And by being grateful, which is just so crazy to me.
Yeah.
So crazy. Like instant answer to prayers. It's too many times for me to not believe in God, you know?
I think that's the hard thing. And like we were talking about it last night of where it's like, maybe it's a generational thing for us right now, but maybe not. Maybe people have like been this their whole entire throughout time, but it's like we always want something now. Like why just happen now? Like why can't it happen now? But
especially
it's
now.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age. Yeah.
But it's like some of the greatest things come through pain, come through time, come through where it's just like you having to go through the shit of where it's like, and then full circle where I think it's a beauty and a blessing and it's just part of his grace where it's like, you got to realize all that now where it's like, oh, well, I was meant to do that. And now I know. And like, there's been 10 blessings that came from that one horrible thing that I stuck through with God throughout the whole entire thing. And he just, I mean, it's almost like going back to like the book of Job. Geez, not book of Job, but going through the story of Job, you know?
Yeah, terrible. Please don't make me go through that.
you got it pretty rough. I will admit that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree, man. It's just, you have to have faith. You have to talk to him and you need to be open. And then when you feel like the voice of God is telling you to do something that you really don't want to do, it's probably for the better anyway. At the end of the day. And that's kind of how you have to view all these things where it's like, hey man, I only got $217 in my bank account and I never tithe. But for whatever reason, the first time going back to church in 7 years and God's telling me to tithe and I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? And he's like, yeah, give $200. And I'm like,
okay,
you're kidding me. Then 2 days later, a bid that I had from 2 years ago comes in and I'm able to upcharge it because it was 2 years prior. And I profited really well from it. And it's like 2 days after I tithe, after not going to church for 7 years. You know what I mean? It's just like
crazy.
Listen, be open and listen to the voice of God. But you have to be clear-headed and you have to be in the word and you have to listen for it. You have to ask, what are you trying to tell me in this sermon today? What are you trying to tell me at work today? Hey, something really bad is happening. Why is this happening to me? Is there a reason? Is there something I should be looking for right now? You know, and he's like, yes, do this because of that, you know, or whatever.
100%.
So yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No, love it, man. I love it. This is good. Like, this is what we love.
Yeah. But these are good questions, man. These are really good questions. And it's fun. I love being able to talk about my faith. I'm so excited about it. And I feel like I don't get to do it enough. So I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's been fun.
Do you have another 4 hours?
No.
Yeah. No.
No, I do not have 4 more hours.
Yeah. No. Do you want to close her out here with some fun quick fire questions for him?
Heck yeah, man.
Do it up.
Sure.
So we just do like a little quick fire segment at the end. Just whatever comes to mind.
Super hard questions.
Yeah, these are
Evan's
the
smiling way too hard. And now I'm scared. Evan's smiling way too hard.
These are the hard questions. You thought those, ones
Okay.
earlier. No. All right. Early morning, driving out for a duck hunt. You're stopping at a gas station. What's your go-to food and drink?
Bacon, egg, and cheese croissant.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll usually throw in a Cliff Bar for later.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I used to be a big energy drink guy, but now for sure it's like an iced Americano with some cream in it.
Fancy.
Coffee.
Mm-hmm. But not really. It's just 2 shots of espresso and a little bit of milk and some water on ice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
What if you cracked open? You got Spotify?
Yeah, but I use Apple Music more.
Okay, so if you cracked open Apple Music, what are your like top 3 most played right now? Probably artists.
Well, I got kids, so recently
That's right.
Recently, we've been playing the "Be a Man" song from Mulan.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
Okay, it's a good one. That's
A
good.
lot.
Nice.
So
Classic.
that's been a banger in the Vassallo household. But I've been really into funk, like PHONK.
Okay.
It's like the music that's behind the reels, where it's like,
Yeah. Yep.
and that stuff just gets me amped up. But other than that, it's pretty hard to listen to with other people because they're not into it like I am. There's always some sort of Spanish rap,
Mm.
And then Colby Acuff, the country music singer, he is absolutely amazing.
Yep.
And then Morgan Wallen.
Nice.
Okay. Nice.
The solid
Yeah.
lineup. Solid lineup. What if you could only chase one duck for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Really? Mallards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mallards, no doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for sure mallards. Not even a question. Yeah.
All right, I've got 2 for you. So first one, what's the worst thing you've lost in the marsh? Like, is it like a phone? Have you lost a gun?
My lanyard.
Lanyard?
My lanyard. Yep.
Oh.
It had personalized Tim Grounds calls.
Dang.
That said, "To Joey, love Tim, 1993." So the year that I was born.
You got a pin we can find him?
Yeah, I've gone back and looked for him about 3 times.
Oh no.
And yeah, I think I'm gonna go back again this year with a metal detector and really really look. Yeah, and go find it because my dad had bands on it, and then I had a couple bands from when I was a kid, and yeah, that was like the worst feeling ever. I think my dog kicked him in the water. And I didn't even hunt that day. I was just looking for my lanyard while everyone else was shooting ducks. I kept going. It was like a 1.5 mile walk into a public marsh.
Fun.
In the tall grass. So I followed our trail and went back and forth. I don't even know how many times. I looked for 8 hours.
No.
Dang, that's a tough one.
So
yeah, no. And then I didn't shoot another band for 7 years.
Oh, that's hard.
I'm not doing bad now.
No.
So
We're
doing pretty good now. Had a couple of good years.
So this last one's interesting. So would you rather be stuck all season with a pair of waders that have a leak in it? We'll call it like a naked leak, not like a substantial leak where you can't hunt, but like enough where it is really annoying. Or a buddy that comes with you on every trip and just sky blasts all the time before you even get a chance to shoot.
That's the easiest question on the planet. It's the waders.
Okay.
It's the waders. Because up until we started wearing the First Light waders, I'd go through 2-3 pairs a year.
Dang.
And dude, I'm not kidding you. I went through the $250 breathable pair of waders from Cabela's. Like it was nothing.
Really?
Like it was nothing. And I would just perpetually had water coming in my waders.
I know.
And that's very doable.
Yeah.
Very doable. Now, if I can't stop Cal from sky blasting, I'll just punch him. I'll just punch him in the face.
Oh, that's funny.
super easy. Not even hard questions, dude. Come on.
I thought that'd be a good one. Cool.
Yeah, I can't stand the sky blasting. So
that's a hard one.
And especially if they can't hit them,
That's even worse.
How many times have you guys been out in the blind where you're about to call the shot and someone just shoots?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like, thanks, fun.
Yep, fun. And
like they're coming in, they're 60 yards, and
everyone's waiting.
They're 50 yards, and you're get ready, and just boom, and you're like, are you kidding me right now? You will die next time you do it, and then it happens again. I'm leaving the hunt.
And we're done. It's fun.
You're putting your gun away, dude.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah.
Sweet.
That's all I got.
I love the questions.
Good
questions. Yeah, guys, thanks so much for having me on. I had a blast.
I think we, do you want to close out with a prayer?
Let's do it.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. Either you can take it, otherwise we can definitely go with it. But I think it'd be awesome if we could close it out.
Yeah, no, I can say a prayer for us real quick. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for the opportunity to come on the Wild Faith podcast and be able to share our faith with so many people and have it live forever on the internet. I just pray that you continue to use me and these two fine gentlemen here to preach the gospel to many people and to plant many seeds across the entire world, and that we show the good side of the Christianity, of the faith of Christianity, and not the bad side, and that we hopefully are able to touch hundreds, if not thousands of people in our lifetime. And I just pray that you give us the right words to say and the right things to do at the right times, and that we always continue to try to have a great relationship with you and to always listen for your voice. And I pray that you continue to make this podcast successful and that all of our children continue to stay healthy. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen, dude.
Amen, brother.
Beautiful. Good.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you. This was fun. This has been I feel like a long time coming, but it finally happened. So thank you for hopping on and taking time out of your night.
Yeah, dude. No, thanks for having me on again. I had a blast, seriously.
Sweetness.
Great time.
Cool. Well, guys, thanks for listening to the podcast this week, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through faith in the great outdoors. We hope today's episode has inspired you to seek God's presence in the wilderness and deepen your connection with nature. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Wild Faith Podcast on your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll continue to be a part of the Wild Faith Podcast community. We'd also love to hear from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, or topic suggestions. You can connect with us on social media or through our website. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve and tailor our content to better serve you. And always remember, the great outdoors isn't just a playground for hunting and fishing. It's a sanctuary for finding solace and spiritual renewal. As you gear up for that next adventure, I pray you find God's presence in the crackling of a campfire, the thrill of reeling in your catch, or the quiet solitude found in nature. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Wild Faith Podcast. Take care, and God bless.